elimination. Use elimination to solve the system of equations. So remember that with elimination, we are trying to create opposites. So you'll notice that 6 and 3 are not opposites. Negative 2 and negative 7 are not opposites. An example of opposites is 5 and negative 5, 3 and negative 3, 4 and negative 4. So we're going to look at our x's first. Can 3 go evenly into 6? Yes, it can. So we're going to multiply that bottom equation by a number to create opposites. Well, the opposite of 6 is negative 6. So if I multiply 3 by negative 2, I'll get negative 6. So negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Negative 2 times negative 7 is 14. Negative 2 times negative 19 is 38. So now I'm going to cross off the equation I just multiplied every number by, and I'm not going to use it anymore. Now I know I did this correctly because I have opposites. 6 and negative 6 make 0. Negative 2 and 14 make 12. 38 and 10 make 48. If I divide both sides by 12, I get y equals 4. Then I'm going to take 4 and plug it in my top equation in order to get my other coordinate point. Really, you can plug it into any equation. I just always pick the top one. So 6x minus 2 times 4 equals 10. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Add 8 on both sides. Divide both sides by 6. And we end up with x equals 3. So our ordered pair for this system where they would intersect is 3, 4. All right. Second one. All right, let's look at our x's. 3 cannot go into 4 evenly, and 2 can't go into 3 evenly. So this time we're going to have to multiply both equations by a number. I think the easiest thing to do is take our x's, the ones in front, and times them by the other number. So for example, 4x I'm going to times by 3. 3x I'm going to times by 4. Now the only thing I need to also make sure I do is those are going to make 12x. Each of them are going to make 12x. We need one of them to be negative 12. So let's say we'll times the top one by a negative 3. So let's see what happens. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Negative 3 times 8 is negative 24. Then if I do the next one, I have 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12. 9 times 4 is 36. So now if I cross these off, let's look at our two new equations. Did I make opposites? Yes, I did. Negative 12 and 12. So then negative 6 and 12 make 6y. Negative 24 and 36 make 12. Divide both sides by 6, and I have y equals 2. Then I'm going to take 2 and plug it back into my top equation for y. So 4x plus 2 times 2 equals 8. 2 times 2 is 4. Minus 4 on both sides. Divide both sides by 4. And I have x equals 1. So my ordered pair is 1, 2. All right. Third one, let's look at our x's and y's. Well, 4 can't go into 6 evenly. 2 can't go into 3 evenly. So we're going to have to times both equations again. So I'm going to take the top equation and multiply it by, so I'm looking at these two. So I'm going to take 6 and times it by 4, 4 and times it by 6. And then remember, both of those would end up being 24. So I need one of them to be negative 24. So I'll just pick the top one. So negative 4 times 6 is negative 24x. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8y. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. 6 times 4 is 24. 3 times 6 is 18. 8 times 6 is 48. So then I'll cross off both equations and look and see if I made opposites. I did. 24 and negative 24. So negative 8 and 18 make 10. Negative 8 and 48 make 40. Divide both sides by 10. And I have y equals 4. And I'm going to take 4 and plug it into my top equation. So 6x plus 2 times 4 equals 2. Minus 8 on both sides. Divide both sides by 6. And I have x equals negative 4. So negative 1, 4 is my solution. All right, a word problem. So it says, set up and solve the system of equations. The cost of 2 groups going to an amusement park is shown in the table. Okay, so here's how we're going to set up a system of equations for this. We're going to write one equation for the first group and a second equation for the second group. So we know that a system of equations, we need to have 2 equations. We need to have 2 variables. And the variables have to be the same in both equations. So we're going to write for adults. So 4 times the adults plus 2 times the cost of a child ticket is $184. So that's my equation for the top row of my grid. Then I have 4a plus 3c equals 200. Let me go grab a calculator really quick. All right, so our goal is to make opposites. Right now we have 4 and 4, so we're close to opposites. We just need to make one of them negative. So if I times this equation by negative 1, I should make opposites. So let's see if I did. Negative 4a and 4a make 0, so I did. 3 minus 2 is 1. 200 minus 184 is 16. I didn't even need a calculator for that one. Okay, so then I'm going to take 16 and plug it in for c in my top equation. So we'll do 4a plus 2 times 16 equals 184. 4a plus 32 is 184. Minus 32 on both sides. And we have 4a equals 152. And if I divide both sides by 4, I end up with a equals 38. So what that means is the cost of a child's ticket is $13 and the cost of an adult ticket is $38. So a child ticket is $16. An adult ticket is $38.